Really benefiting from this part of the conversation, the last person who talked about shadow work, particularly because my take on it is that the more the being has access to come through the vehicle, the better. And how it appears is that by doing the shadow work and releasing old stories, releasing judgments about oneself that are held in the subconscious or unconscious, it appears like the person then seems to let go of, or maybe they don't let go of it, but somehow blocks that have been there seem to dissolve, resulting in the experience of having more intuition, more guidance, more willingness to live from that place and to experience the beingness in other things. It just arises. I certainly
Mm.
experienced that. Like I was out for a walk in Stanley Park yesterday and just feeling the love from the trees. It just is. And that's how it feels. And then the love coming up in my heart to join with that as well.
Mm.
And it's not a constant experience, but it's so wonderful. It's just so true. That's what it is. So all that to say that the idea of shadow work, what my experience is now is for a long time really is things just arise, like emotions just arise.
Mm.
And if I, as a being, a person even, can be present to it, then it can resolve in whatever way it's going to resolve in some way.
Mm. Mm.
Just sitting there, all of a sudden tears come there's no trigger that can be seen. They just arise. And if I meet them open-heartedly, then they have their say and do what needs to be done, and it's done. Don't know
Mm.
what's done exactly, but my ongoing experience is that there seems to be less in the way of the being present
Mm.
and expressing.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's a lovely way to phrase it. And I wouldn't disagree. But the problem is the mind is so amazing in its interpretation of everything. So there also has to be the openness to that not being true and it being mystery,
yeah,
which I suspect there is there as well.
yeah.
Nisargadatta put it in a really beautiful way, which I can't quite remember, but let's see if I speak if it comes out correctly. So he put it as in like so there is a piece of paper which we could call the ego or the mind or thought, whatever, or karma or illusion. And on one side there is the light, and on the other side there is darkness. And at some point, a hole is made in the piece of paper, and the light comes through.
Mm.
And it's not paper didn't make the hole in itself. That would be an impossibility. Like the paper didn't bend up and make the hole, but the hole appears and the light comes through. And the light was already there. It didn't need that to happen. So there's always an element of mystery, so that it does appear to be that there's these illusions that appear, and they're based on seeking. They're based on seeking to be form and seeking to be something. And there is a person that becomes interested in this subject and works on itself. And through the apparent working on itself, the seeking becomes less and the karmas become less. And then the person becomes more happy or more free in itself. And as it becomes more free, then what tends to happen is the beingness, like you say, is recognized or shines through because there's not the illusory seeking that's going into time. but with every thought and every tale that we tell, there also has to be the ability to give it up, the ability to see from a different perspective that that's not true too. Because otherwise it becomes a new seeking and a new addiction and a new identity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm finding. That particular aspect today is kind of opening up something wider here, because the intellectually there's the knowing or the believing at least that this whole experience is, while it's part of the one, it's a dream within the one, let's say. And to be able to hold my ongoing experience as a person here within that is totally okay, but also it's being run outside of me. So
Yeah,
I really love the idea that I'm not running anything. What a
yeah,
relief that is when I access that.
yeah,
And and here's the word, I can trust it. It's going to do what it's going to do, and everything's going to be as it's going to be. And I can go along for the ride, so to
yeah,
speak, and allow it, in quotes. I don't know if I'm allowing anything because it's happening, right?
yeah,
It's not like I'm making it happen or not
yeah.
making it happen. So
And this,
there's
yeah,
freedom in this.
yeah, and this is where the mind becomes so super flexible that it can hear, put your attention, say, inattention, or put your attention in the I am, and then it can simultaneously hear there is nobody doing that, or
Right.
there's nothing happening. And this is like the mind becomes so flexible in the ability to just move over thoughts, not hold them as a real, to just let them go, let them go, let them go, which is what seems to happen. The Ramana Maharshi would say, you use one thorn to remove another thorn and then throw them both away.
Yeah.
It's just this, like these, like an ocean, like the waves coming in and then they disappear, and then the wave comes in and they disappear.
Yeah. It's a bit trippy.
Yeah. I do feel like this is where the psychedelics meets non-duality, because what seems to happen when there's lack of attachment to thoughts and understanding is we are accessing something deeper where the psychedelics tend to touch on, where it's like this place of like real creativity.
Hmm. Well, I'm also aware that um, the letting go of thoughts is certainly not a constant experience. Sometimes the thoughts really want to take hold, and you go down a rabbit hole with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal what thoughts do. I mean, just the experience that the body, like the feeling of the body, that is a thought, the feeling of the body.
Yeah.
Like our
Yeah.
brain is simulating our feeling of our body, which is amazing. Like when I studied meditation, I think I forget a lot of my words. It's just what happens here. I think they
Yeah.
used to call it samapatis, and I'd be sitting there meditating, and I would suddenly feel like my neck was growing, and then suddenly my head was on the ceiling. It's like, or my arms would be on backwards. It was, like these weird sensations. This is when I've meditated I'd be on retreat and we'd be doing many hours meditation a day. And
Wow.
then your mind begins to distort. I don't know, maybe because you don't move and there's a stillness that begins to happen. And then your body feels all warped and weird. And the beauty of these experiences is that you begin to really see so clearly how the mind is dictating every experience. Like every, like physical experience, it's not a truth.
Yeah.
Your thought is.
It's a bit scary at the same time, just as you're speaking about it, it's like, what's there to hang on to?
Yeah.
there isn't anything to hang on to. Where we try to hang on, like
yeah,
if I let go, oh my God, the terror of that,
yeah,
of
yeah,
somehow I'm trusting that, because that is the word here. I am trusting that what needs to happen is happening the way it needs to happen and at the
yeah,
speed it needs to happen.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
and,
mean, that's what we were talking about earlier, the
yeah,
faith in this subject. And it's not, and it feels like your faith and it feels like your trust, but it's ultimately the one, that's
right.
part of the process. It needs to be there in order to stay in it, because you're right, that is terrifying. Like if everything is mind made, what is real? What is the truth?
Yeah,
What is there after death? What is there when I'm not there? And what's so loving about this subject is it's the most intimate sense of being. So it's that which you've always been. It's not something devoid or removed from yourself. It's so intimately you. You've always known it and you've always been it. It's just that the mind is so convinced the beingness belongs to me and is conscious through this body, and there is other things out there, but my words are your beingness. My face is your beingness. The sound, I don't know what you can hear, there's a bell outside. That bell is your beingness.
yeah. I can meet it to a certain point and know it's true. What's the expression? I know it's true, but I don't believe it. There's the coming into the, and again, I did one. I guess the dominant thing here is getting more. By the way, can you see me or can I just see you?
You can just see me.
Oh, okay, good to know. Um,
Yeah, no one else can see you either.
no, that I knew. I didn't know if we were seeing each other though, that part.
No.
No, okay. Um, let's see, how would I say this? The terror part. I mean, I have been a student also of A Course in Miracles for a long time, and I remember some things about it that were very appealing and yet scary at the same time, because I haven't encountered any spiritual anything that says no, that doesn't say there won't be terror or fear. That it seems to my mind here inescapable. Well, nobody really wants to dive into that. Nobody wants to dive into that. And yet there is the belief and hope that it's all going to happen the way it's going to happen. And my being afraid of fear isn't going to do anything except make me fearful,
Yeah.
because it's going to happen the way it happens.
Mm. But
Yeah.
it's the ultimate illusion, the fear.
Yes.
It's the ultimate one.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. For sure. I feel like there's something working away in here as we're speaking, so that's good.
Yeah,
Maybe we've
nice.
talked enough for now. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
I
you,
really appreciated talking to you. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.